Hi, Shur-ēē Tay-bur with Energy Healing Arts. Okay, we are on video number 5 of a 5-part series on how to clear your energy body of energetic conditions, mostly with a focus on COVIDic energetic conditions that have come to you over the past few years. Okay, today we're going to talk about the brain. We really have been focusing on reminding the brain on how energy has come to you, come to it in a way that it has been unaware. And so that's a phenomenon. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen unless a really certain kind of condition has come to a person. But it did with COVID, and it did with the masses. And because it's still here, and because it's been here quite a long time, and again, I'm not referring as much to the virus and bacterial aspects of COVID, I'm referring to the energetic aspects of COVID, which have been here a very long time. Okay, so we're going to educate you and your brain. And again, I will continue to speak rather slowly and clearly, and I may repeat a few things so that your brain has a minute, a second, a pause to be able to articulate, to integrate what it is that I'm saying. If I say something and you go, oh man, I just lost it, please pause, back it up, and listen to it again. And in things that make you go, why does that keep slipping out? Why does that thing I hear that makes me go like this and then it just disappears? Please pause. Please reverse, write down that thing that slips away. Write it down. Because when we engage some more of our capacities, you go from listening, you go from doing certain things to listening, writing, and thinking as you write it, even if you have to listen to it 3 or 4 times to write it properly, you are clearing something. This is how easy it is to do once we start to understand what needs to occur. Now, the process of clearing when you have layers and layers and layers, which is very common, of energetic information with you, can be long. It can take a long time. And a long time for most of us is many, 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 many weeks. And for some of us, many, many, many months. If you have had long-term COVID, it could take a long time. But it isn't going to clear until you start clearing it. So let's not wait any longer. Okay? All right. So, again, please write down anything that feels important, anything that slips by you as you listen, anything that feels like you're hearing it again for the first time. Write it down. It's important. Even if you don't look at it again, write it down. But then use a piece of paper that you write down things that you're going to do over and over again, like watch these videos. And I hope that it's not painful. I hope that it has been an intellectual and an experiential process. And you do, for your best health, want to watch these over and over again. Okay? All right. So let's talk about the brain. I'm going to bring up the share screen. And let's just go to this slide. We started to go to this slide in video 3, and then we didn't make it there. Okay. Now, this is a good image of the side of your brain. And this image is a little grainy, so it's a little hard to read. This area right here called the precentral gyrus, I think I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I do. It's right here above this area. And if you can see that, it is right. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay. And that little area is critically important. So critically important that the intelligence of COVID targets it. And they target this by sending information right here in your energy field. This is really quite close to your whole scalp. So we're talking about this far, which would be about depending on how far out your field is, if your field is just being average, your energy body is at an average distance, this distance from your head is about layer 6 of your etheric field. And layer 6 is critically close to your etheric template. Let's write that word down because we're going to use it, and I will probably use it in so many other videos, that it's an important term for you to understand. Your etheric template is the divine blueprint for your health, for your perfected health. And our etheric template is genius. It has the entire design for you built in it. And your etheric template, let's see if I can show you. So if I'm touching my skin, your etheric template is about this far from your skin, which is only, let's see if I can get this right, only about this far from your skin. And it lays around your entire body, okay, your physical body. It's your energy, it's in your energy field, and it is in that close of a proximity all the way around your entire body. Because it is the genius, because it is your divine blueprint for your health, there's an intelligence that targets it, okay? And when it can target you right here and get right hovering over top of that etheric template in this pre-central gyrus area, it can begin to fog your mind. It can begin to fog your mental planes, your emotion planes, your spirit planes, and your physical planes. And what happens is, once it gets here, let's see if I can use that little guy. Once it gets right here, it starts to move forward, okay? And what happens is, it keeps moving forward. And because it keeps moving forward, it's looking and targeting your frontal lobe right here. And if it can get right here, and it can lay over top of your etheric template, it can begin to induce a person. And this is not uncommon post-COVIDic infectious pandemic. This is happening a lot. People doing things they would never have done, thinking things they would never have thought, and executing them mindlessly. This happens when this occurs with energetic information that does not belong to your body. This is what we're going to work on today. You may not have this, it may not be like this with you yet, or it may be, and it may be inactive. And if it is inactive, it can become activated at any time. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you're one of those people who are compelled to do whatever impulsive thing comes up, you're going to be in trouble. If you're the kind of person that people go, wow, I can't believe you just said that, or wow, you really did that, then you need to pay attention. If you're the kind of person who monitors and modulates your behavior, you may not be as inclined to be induced, but your mind and your consciousness is aware that you are being inclined to do things that are outside of your personal nature. And this isn't something to keep a secret from yourself about, okay? This is something to admit to yourself. Just sit for 1 second, pause this video, and ask, do I have thoughts I didn't used to have? When I was at my best, did I have these kind of thoughts? Do I have thoughts of doing things I wouldn't normally do, as mundane as staying in bed without getting up, not taking a shower, not washing my hair, not going to see my friends, not enjoying things I once did, losing my desire for things I used to just love and set goals for, and I couldn't wait to do? These are just some really, really minor things. And if you are being inclined, if you are being, if you are having to say no, even at a low level to things you just wouldn't do, if you're really struggling to do that which you did well, you may be being overshadowed at some level right here. Okay, I'm just going to see if that works. And if this is where you're overshadowed, we want to get a hold of this. Okay, we want to end it. We want to get rid of it. And we can. So what we're going to do, we're going to pause for a minute. And I'm going to ask you to do two things. I'm going to ask you to ask the divine, who is pure source light, who is the creator. And I'm going to ask you to say it in the way I'm saying it, because if this is going on with you in any way, anywhere in your body, if you have information anywhere in these areas that I'm circling, any of it, you likely have fields of information that have energetic entities within them that go by the names of the divine. So never in my life have I ever had to qualify the name of God, ever. But in order to bypass these fields so that they don't activate immediately, I have had to shift up the way I intend to say the divine's name. Now, the divine is present, always, always present. And we don't want these others to activate and be present as well, okay? So the one thing is, I'm going to ask you to invite the divine. If you are fully uncomfortable with that, fully refuse to do that, and you still want the healing, I'm going to invite you to invite your fullest, most potent, most powerful, most full of 100% your vital life force energy. And what we're doing when we say that is we are asking your source incarnating energy, your source incarnating spirit, to fully fill you with your vital life force energy now, so that you can exercise this ending of information that does not belong with you, okay? I personally invite both the divine, who is pure source light, who is the creator, who is God, who is the divine realm, and there are no others, only this one, no other. And I invite my 100% source incarnating spirit, all of my divine energies, all of my divine essences that came in as part of this incarnation to support me in resolving this. That is all we have to ask for. I already feel something releasing for me. For me, it feels like something in here. But without asking, I don't know. Okay? So we're going to pause this in just 1 minute. So I want you to do those two things. If you need to pause and write those two things down, inviting the divine, who is pure source light, who is the creator, who is God, who is the divine realm, and no other, only them. And you're not qualifying this for God. You're qualifying this so no other thinks you think they are, or could be supporting you here. There's power in saying that, as crazy as it might sound. So you're inviting the divine in the way I just said it, and you're inviting your 100% pure source light, incarnating, source incarnating spirit. So stop, rewind, and write that down, those two things. And intend both are here, ending At the very least, this. And let's just make an intention. You don't have to remember all of it, but let's make an intention since we've got God and we've got your full vital life force energy supporting us here. So starting right where I put that marker, let's ask the divine and your vital life force energy at 100% to end anything that's surrounding your brain, okay? Now this is happening with some people, this amount of overshadowing. And the intent is to get over top of your etheric template. And if they do, and they've gotten this far, you are not able to function at your fullest, highest, intended by the divine and you before you incarnated. You are unable to function as well as you were supposed to be able to. So let's end that. And let's just ask right this moment for whatever miracles are needed in this moment so that your brain heals. And we're going to ask that this happen now, in this moment, and that whatever it takes so that none of it can return to you ever in any way, ever again. Not only can this not return to you, but nothing will ever do this to you again. That whatever it is that gave provision for this kind of information to come into your system cannot, will not, and it won't. Okay? So let's pause and we give gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful intention. And more healing comes. It's just a thing. Being kind to somebody, being grateful to somebody, always has reciprocity, whether it is physical or it is at some other level. Gratitude is healing to those who receive it. And in this case, gratitude is healing to those who are giving it as well. It's not punitive. It just is a natural way of how we're created. So let's give gratitude to you. Gratitude to your vital life force energy, your 100%. Gratitude to your source incarnating spirit. Gratitude to your body spirit. Let's give gratitude to the divine by whatever name you refer to them. Let's give thanks to our brain. Thank you, brain, for paying attention here. Thank you, brain, for looking at this. Thank you, God. Thank you, body spirit. Thank you, full vital life force energy, for holding me and showing all of my assets, all of me, all parts and aspects and essences, all systems and microsystems, all things within this whole body, what you're doing. So my whole body heals and remembers. And at the very best, begins to do this itself. And at the very least, calls you in to end these things and wakes up and recognizes and becomes no longer overshadowed, overcome, or intruded in any way so that I can heal myself, so that I can be healed in the way the divine created me to heal, and so that I can be aware if I need additional support in becoming fully well. So let's pause, and you can repeat this. And the beautiful thing about these videos is that you can pause it and rewatch it and rewind it and pause it. And so take your time here, please. And you can do this many times. You may ask the divine to do this for every person in your family. Every person God knows is part of your family, even if they are not a DNA family member. And you will be surprised how exponentially broad the healing happens so that each one can be healed. Okay? All right. So let's pause this. and I'll be right here when you return. All right. Very good. I hope you'll keep doing this over and over again until your whole self says to you, we did it. We got it. And let's watch this again in another month or so, or however long it said your body tells you. Ask your body. And when you write it down, you'll know. You just will. When we work with our body and we ask our body to guide us in our best way, our body is amazing. And COVID isolated us. It situationally isolated us in so many ways. And then that isolation became a way of life. And so as we became more and more overshadowed in the ways in which each were, situational isolation grew, and funk grew, and motivation started to decline. And this is very dangerous to each of one of us, and it's dangerous to us as a family, and it's dangerous to us as a community and as a global collective. We must be connected. We must be able to think. We must be able to engage. We must be healthy. We came here for the purpose of doing something mighty, something profound. And we could easily minimize the importance of that. But I ask you not to. I just ask you to ask your whole self, what was that thing that I came here for? Because every phase of your life has a very important purpose in it. And if we are able to thrive, we are able to understand what it is. Okay, so I compel you, please repeat this exercise. Some things have to come off in layers. I am asking, and I ask you to do the same thing. Let's intend. Let's prayerfully intend to God, the divine, who's pure source light, who is the creator, who is Jehovah, who is the divine realm, who is Great Spirit, who is Jesus, who is the Holy Spirit, who is the Holy Trinity. Please keep removing the layers in the way they must be, using the highest protocols that end everything, so I can be 100% whole again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And please compel me so that I know, so that I am divinely guided by no other, but divinely guided to remember to watch these again, or to pick up something very specific that by reading it, I would become even more understanding of what I need to do to support my healing. Okay, so let's go down here. This is an interior view of the brain. This is half. This is looking on the inside at half of your brain. Another target of COVID is this entire area right here. Now this one, not that the other isn't important, because it's critically important. This area right here is very dangerous to be overshadowed, very dangerous to be targeted, very dangerous for anyone to set an intention upon other than the divine's intention for your perfection. Any other intention? Very harmful, very dangerous. And so we're going to do the same thing we did up there. We're going to ask, and I'm just going to move through this, and then I'm going to give you a second to pause, take your time, and when you come back, I'll be right here. So we're calling upon the divine, who is pure source light, who is the divine realm, who is Jesus, who is God, who is Jehovah, who is the Holy Spirit, who is the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. And we invite the Holy Trinity. We invite my personal, which is your personal, vital life force energy in its 100% capacity, which is my source incarnating spirit, to support me in being fully well, meaning completely sovereign, meaning we're not stopping till I am sustainably sovereign. And in this moment, I am asking that any communication in any way to my brain to my etheric template, to any aspect of my brain, be resolved in perfection, in permanence, forever, eternally, and no other, nothing can return except my perfect health. All right, go ahead and pause, and let's do that. All right, hello again. So our intention in this point was to remove this, any overshadowing, any intrusion. And in doing that, anything that looked like this was also being removed. So depending on the seriousness of the way you received COVID, either energetically or through infectious COVID, through local environmental episodic congestive COVID, which are fields of congestion, fields of intention that are making their way through our atmosphere over and over and over, and any other way in which COVID is coming, COVID, anything that acts like wants to be, or partners with, or affiliates with, or associates with, or any, to be removed right now from this entire area. And we give gratitude to the divine and to your genius brain, your brilliant brain, your intelligent brain, your divinely created, most magnificent self, because you are. And we are giving gratitude because this is ending now. Again, ask yourself, ask the divine, ask your vital life force energy, which knows, do I need to do this more than this one time? And if you have the slightest sense you do, keep doing it. Okay? You could lay in bed in the night if you awakened or going to sleep, and you could say, divine, who is pure source light, who is God, who is, and go through this, right? That way you don't engage anything else. And my vital life force energy, which is at 100%, which is my source incarnating spirit. That brain stuff that we did in that video, I intend prayerfully, I intend with my everything in my being, that anything that there is affecting my brain is removed. And you can do it like that. You don't have to get back into the video, but the video is important. Each of these videos are important because it's reminding your brain of things that it can look for. And like the one client I shared about in the last video, you may have layers, and each time you look at it, it may feel like the first time again, because that is what happens when we have layers and layers. Like, well, I hopefully never there, but let's just say you had a dot here, or let's say you have something hanging out here. If it's been stacking itself in layers, because this intelligence writes the requirements for ending it within any person. It writes the intelligence, the requirements of doing so within the condition itself. Now, this condition has layered over like 150 million layer cake or 150 layer cake. You've got to get rid of the layers that have to be removed first. It isn't always the layers that are on top. It isn't always completely linear, not completely sequential, but it's often done in series of bundles. And when the requirements suggest it's done a particular way, it must be followed. So please do not work with any other guide. Please do not work with any other helping spirit. Please work with the divine, who is God, who is source, who is the creator, who is the Holy Spirit, who is the divine realm, or your archangel guardian, who is of the divine realm, which is, and all who are the divine realm are pure source light. Okay? No other, please. This could become quite messy if you worked with something, someone other than the divine or your vital life force energy, which is 100% yours, which is 100% full, which is your source incarnating spirit. Anything else, this could get messy. You can't go wrong asking for the Creator to restore you to their intention for you, because it is always good, no matter what you think you've heard, no matter what you believed before. The divine only has good. The crud, the crap that we have run into in our life isn't because the divine wanted us to. It is always preceded by the kind of energetic conditions I am talking about. Not always COVID, but COVID's been around for so long, almost everything has aligned. Anything that wants malice, malintended, harmful to you, has partnered in some way or affiliated itself and its resources to COVIDic intention, because there's just so much power in that intention currently, and there has been. Okay, so your intention is that this whole brain is cleared. This is another area that gets harmed right here. And in our last intention that we did just a minute or two ago, we intended all of this to be ended, all of it, so that your brain, your whole body is fully restored to the way that God intended. Now, you might have gas when you do this, the kind that you burp, okay? Excuse me. So something's clearing for me as we do this. For me, usually, when energy is leaving, I burp. And when I first understood that, I thought that was kind of funny. But I watch people, and it does happen. Some people have tears. Some people, their nose might run. You might turn red, but not usually. So there are just a few things. For me, if energy is leaving this way, I might back up. If energy is leaving here, I still may back up and move, just naturally. My body does that. Pay attention. You'll be able to tell when yours is experiencing a clearing, because something different will happen than it does when you're not getting clearing. Okay, so let's look here. This is a very common target for COVIDic information and for what we refer to as others that come together with COVID to address a person or an animal. And it goes right here for the ear, because when it can implant messages, you may or may not hear them audibly. Depends on your gifts, and it depends on how they're implanting these messages. But they will implant messages that speak into your energy body. And those messages are intended to convince your energy body it is dying. They are intended to convince your energy body that you are very sick. And they will even use certain kinds of diagnostic terms so that your body begins to accept the energetic intention its greater systems are sending you. If you've ever suddenly just heaved like a sigh or that deflated sense, and you're like, why did I just do that? You can be certain some part of your energy body got bad news. That is not okay. That is debilitating. So we're going to make a strong intention in this very, very moment while we are aware, right, that we have the attention of the divine, who is God, who is the Creator, who is the Holy Spirit, who is Jesus, who is the divine realm, and our 100% fully funded vital life force energy, and our incarnated, our source incarnating spirit. This is why we have to write things down, because as things start clearing, it's easy to get like, okay, wait a minute, let me get this right. Let me say this through all the way, right? And so source incarnating spirit, if you'll write those down, the divine who's pure source light, who is God, however you want to say it in a longer term, so we're not activating other fields, and our 100% vital life force energy, our source incarnating spirit. While we're all here together, and we always are, but we're becoming very aware that this is occurring, and with very strong intention, in a video that I have been divinely guided to make for the very purpose of clearing you. There's a lot of power here. I'm not doing the clearing. Clearly not me, okay? This is all the divine. Let's ask and prayerfully intend that this system and any other system around your ear, around your brain, around your ocular system, around your nasal area, around your teeth, your linguistics, around the underneath of your chin, around this area here, all of this, this upper C-spine, your whole spine, your cerebellum area, all cervical area, the spinal cord, spinal fluid, all of this, 100%, all. And we're specifically talking about everything from the neck up, from the clavicle up. It's okay to include anything else you want to, but we are being very specific about clearing all of this. This right here is a very targeted region. Very, very, very targeted, because once they get here, they can do a number of things, and we don't want any of them to occur. None of them. And they start moving their energies out this way. All right, so pause, make that intention, listen. Is there anything else you need to know? And if you do, I would write it down, because we've done so much work here. It will be easy to forget. If you are guided to know how many times to come back to this, please write that down. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to move down here. This is another slide or another plate that shows the nervous system. You'll recall either in the first or second video, I showed the nervous system and the subcutaneous nervous system, the emotional, where it was a picture of the body where our emotional pain can land. And then another one that talked about the subcutaneous nervous system. And I said that I had not yet purchased those. So for the record, I purchased them. I didn't even realize when I put them in there that I had not yet purchased them. So they are done, purchased, and now we're using everything legally. All right, so here, obviously the brain, cerebellum, first cervical space right here, okay? And this area, your cerebellum, I don't think this shows the occiput, but your occiput area right here, highly targeted, highly targeted. So we're going to follow the same process. We're going to invite the divine in the way we've been inviting them, your vital life force energy, full 100%, and your source incarnating spirit. We're asking and intending this and any other system, anything that connects, anything that projects, anything that influences, anything that does anything with your body that is not the divine and that is not in alignment with your divine, with the divine's divinely created intention for you, which is also your divine intention when you incarnated. And we are intending that this is deleted, gone for good. So pause and come back. And when you come back, if you had any notes, make sure you've written them down. I'll be right here. Okay. So this is the C-spine, the upper spine, okay? this area, I'm just going to do this, see if it makes any difference. This is the thoracic area. I don't know how to change the colors on this. Maybe I'll learn eventually. And then this, I'm just going to do it this way. This is your lumbar spine. We get down here, right, to this little tail looking place. This is your S spine. Okay. Off of every single one of these vertebrae, and with each vertebra, we have a spinal cord that travels the length of our spine. And we have nerve systems that come off of every single vertebra system. And they come down our arms, they go throughout our body. This spine is targeted. If you get little breakouts along your spine, if you get itching, pain, pins and needles, anywhere in this area, your spine or your neurological system may be being communicated to by energetic information. And we want that to be ended. Because the nerve systems, your entire body is wired here. Everything you do is coming from your spine. And your neurological system is the electrical system, so to speak, the information system, so to speak, the master computer of your entire body. And all of these systems coming off the spine are being targeted. Every single human being is being targeted. And because you're being targeted, if you have something within yourself that provisions these energies to be with you, you could be getting overcome, overshadowed, intruded in any of these areas. Okay? Any kind of pain, twitching, itching, discomfort. There's lots of symptoms, but any kind of symptom that your body is having, your body is telling you that there is the presence of energetic information that does not belong there. We've become a society accustomed to ignoring everything. We shouldn't ignore anything. It doesn't mean we go to the doctor for everything. It means we say, hey, body, me, there's something going on. My eye's twitching. My ear itches. My throat is a little tender. This one lymph node is a little sensitive. This little back of my leg area has a little pocket of fat, and that shouldn't be there. It's not that we don't get fat. It's not that we are saying that fat people have energy all over them. But if you notice a fat pocket that's new, that's odd, then you should ask your body to eliminate it. And because so much of what we are experiencing today is being targeted from energetic conditions to us, invite the divine, invite your source incarnating spirit, and invite 100% of your vital life force energy to clear it. Another common area of pain, of discomfort, are the intercostal areas, which are the cartilage around the rib cage here. And if this spasms, it is very painful. If it gets a cramp in it, it is unbearable, awful. And these intercostal muscles start to move out from these areas. And if they are targeted, and they do become targeted a lot, you will have a hard time taking a deep breath. And the idea behind this for these energetic intentions is that, particularly during the night, your breath becomes shallow, that you become less mobile, and that the pain keeps you from clearing your lungs, because they target the lungs primarily. And infectious COVID is a targeting intelligence of the lungs, the pleura, the bronchia, the throat, the larynx, however you say that, the thyroid, and the area underneath the chin, this whole area down here. And the eyes are extremely targeted. The sinus cavities, very targeted. The lymph system, extremely targeted. If your eyes start to burn, you are being targeted. And for me, if my eyes burn, I know I'm being targeted with an infection, and I start working on that immediately. So let's ask the divine, in the way we've talked about, your vital life force energy and your source incarnating spirit, in the way we've discussed, to end all energetic conveyance, energetic influence, energetic intention, energetic any of any. And I'm not finishing that on purpose because that narrows and specifies. And because these intelligences use some of the most illogical approaches, we can't name them all. So we say any, all, every that affects me, please end now. And because the divine knows, the divine doesn't need for us to tell them how. There are times in a person's healing of these kinds of energies where particular fields of intention require that the person make very specific requests to be resolved. You will ultimately be resolved whether you make these on time or not. But oftentimes when you can make those requests, your body can be relieved of the condition of the whatever they're bringing, whether it's an infection or discomfort, pain, which is a big part of this. You can often be resolved of that pretty quickly when you personally make the ask. For instance, God, please remove my achy eyes. Please resolve what's causing my eyes to ache right now. That's what an ask is. You can ask in the way we've been asking. You can ask all three, the divine, your vital life force energy, and your source incarnating spirit. I would do it that way. I also sometimes I'm just do it quickly. Pardon me. And then I ask if there's anything else I need to ask. I also do this all the time. I will know. I will know in 1 to 3 seconds what it is I need to know so that I can be well. If I need divine information or I need guidance, I will say, I will know in 1 to 3 seconds. I'll just know. And boom, there it is. And I'm very specific that it is divine guidance. Divine as in the divine realm, as in God, as in pure source light and no other. And it will be divine truth. And so when you set these intentions up and you ask the divine, who is pure source light, to perfect those protocol, to condition them, to protect them, to potentiate them, and to be the one who fully resolves and restores, heals and clears, restitutes and manifests that which needs to be, then you can use that protocol with confidence. The protocol being that I will know in 1 to 3 seconds, and I will know what I need to ask. And that ask and that protocol is protected. And when I make protocol like this, I also make protocol about healing. When I ask to be healed, the divine protects so that only the divine, who is pure source light, is healing me. No other is attempting to heal me, because COVID will attempt to resolve its own conditions without following the guidelines. When they do that, your conditions are very likely to exponentially expand and become significantly worse very rapidly. So this is why we work with divine, who knows all things. Okay? All right. So the next place that and so we're reminding the brain, okay, this is not to be overwhelming. It can feel this way. And it doesn't matter if you don't understand it all. God is healing you. Your whole self is healing you. And your brain is becoming aware of what it may not have been aware of. And that's the purpose in this. The next place is here. The groin area is a high target. This muscle system that goes over your hips and down and back, comes around the back and comes around here. This whole area, very targeted. A couple of reasons. One, this is your root chakra. This is your power chakra. This is where we have our power. And when this is overshadowed, we can become unwell relatively quickly. This area, for a woman, is the womb. It's our power place. It's how life keeps going forward. And so they've targeted this for quite so many years, a lot of years. And there's a lot going on here. So clearing this area, if you are a woman, is critically important. If you've come to have more bladder infections or had one and never did before, if you're having other kinds of vaginal or reproductive challenges, you have overshadowing here, and this needs to be cleared. If you are a man, this area is more overshadowed, the lower area, your bladder, the penis area, scrotum area, and the area behind that. And this is a man's power center as well. It's not just about sexual power. This is about your core power. This is about your life power. And when they can affect this area, and the effect is slightly different, it's very much the same, and then there are some slightly different ways in which a man is is harmed and a way a woman is harmed. But this area is very much overshadowed. And when we talk about things being layered, this is one of the areas they bury deeply. And this area doesn't get over this. You can't get directly to the overshadowing of this until you clear so many other things that they have hinged or merged or melded into this bundle of energy that they bring in here. And then what happens when they do this is they start following these meridian lines. These meridian lines, all right, sorry, this is being a little challenging okay. These meridian lines are vital areas in our energy body. And when they start driving the energy through and overshadowing these meridians, it starts tangling because they do layer after layer after layer. And then they do these jump things. So they'll take this particular meridian point, and they'll move it informationally over here. And before this is done, you have a lot of crisscrossing. So you could have a condition in this leg that's causing this one to be inflamed. You could have a condition in this meridian system that's causing your knee to go out. You could have a condition in this ankle that's causing the other undersole of your foot to hurt. And this is how they move these intelligences, move your energy centers and your very specific fields of intelligence within your body into other areas. This needs to be cleared. So let's ask the divine, who's pure source light. Let's ask your source incarnating spirit, and you're 100% funded at 100% vital life force energy to end all overshadowing of your torso, your limbs, your face, under your chin, all around your face, your eyes, your ocular system, your whole self. We're going to go after the whole self. And because you're using you're working with the highest intelligence that exists, the divine knows the order in which this has to be resolved. And so let's go ahead and make this very strong intention right now. And that we're asking for the expediency of God to end this immediately, because they can. And if there are other conditions that have to be cleared, that have to be resolved, that take time before all of the layers that are affecting you, or before all of the effect that is occurring with you can be ended, we are asking that God hold you in sovereignty, in full wellness, in 100% of your vital life force energy, while all that gets resolved, so that your healing, so that your life, so that your whole intention for being here can be honored, protected, potentiated, and perfected, while all the other requirements of resolution are occurring. Now, this request has not been able to be honored in the fullness, in the way that I'm asking. I am intending that because I'm being guided to ask you to ask in this way, that we're getting ready to see some things occur that we haven't been able to have occur before. In the unlikely event that there are layers that can't clear at this time, please ask, do you need to revisit this request multiple times? And please tell me what I need to know so that I can be healed as quickly as possible. Okay? All right. Pause. And when you're finished, come back. You do not have to ask these questions over and over, in the sense that when I tell you to pause, you don't have to spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes saying things the right way. You just don't, because the divine already knows. You can make really quick intentions that this is happening. And I ask that you do it in such a way that you learn, so that you can use these requests, this system, or this purple intention process over and over and over again throughout your life. Okay, so this is starting to become a little long, and I want to help you get through it. I'm going to keep this series at 6. So this, you can take screenshots, or you can just watch the video as many times as you want to. This is the cutaneous innervation. This is another visual of the slide that we looked at, I think, in video 2. And this one looks a little bit different. So this talks about the various areas of the body as they relate to the various nervous systems. Now, this is talking about the cutaneous innervation. So this is the nerves within the skin, and the skin is deep. And so what we want to bring the most attention to here is that this area right here, which is the governor's vessel, it runs from about right here, down below under your chin, and down, and just down, I shouldn't have stopped, just down below the genitals, okay? This runs, let's see if I can get that to do that. Okay, this runs the length here, in that way. This governor's vessel is part of the meridian system. It's in our energy body. And COVID attacks it. COVID tries to overshadow and to penetrate it. And when it can, it starts affecting all of this system in so many ways that there's no sense in me even starting to talk about it. So let's ask in this moment that every aspect of our energy body, particularly the governor's vessel and the conception vessel, and all the meridian systems, all the chakras, all the transitional spaces and places within our energy body, all aspects of every single energy body and field, every plane and every space, every hidden space, every hidden place, all of you is fully clear in this moment of every energy except your vital life force energy. And this implies that anything that is plugging in to your power is removed. Anything that can use your power off location is resolved. Anything that has intention to do it in the future, present, and past is gone as though it never existed. And the healing we're asking for is the healing that you would have if no other kind of energy ever entered your energy body or your physical body ever in your life, ever. And we are making this very powerful intention, this very powerful prayerful intention of the divine, who is pure source light, and we're making it of your vital life force energy that is funded at 100%, because that can heal your body. And we're making that of your source incarnating spirit, because they can heal your body. And we are making this right now with no absolutes, none. By no absolutes, I mean there is nothing barring. There are no exceptions, none. And that the divine, who is God, who is pure source light, who is the divine realm, who is the creator, will restore you to your perfected intention, to that which you intended before you incarnated. And that this will be your perfected body. And that this is a sustainable healing, a sustainable sovereignty that God holds for you for the rest of your life. And I would pause this and write that, because that is a powerful intention and a powerful prayer. I'm going to touch a sensitive area very quickly, no pun intended. This area. This area is the seat of power, literally. This area, meaning specifically the rectum, is targeted purposefully, because if harmed, a significant amount of harm can spread up through the lower bowels and the upper bowels and the intestinal system. And when something gets into the intestinal system, because of the vascularity of it, because it shares brain cells with your brain, and your intestines share heart cells as well. And when it can do that, it can attack your three most important vital areas of your body. And as such, coming here to this area of your body offers a direct, express possibility to affecting all of this, all of this, all of this. And we're saying no. We say absolutely no. If you've had itching, stinging, twinging sensations happening at the rectum area, and even if you haven't, let's just make the strongest, most powerful intention that that's not happening. Not only is it not happening, it has never happened. And that means that it's healed as though it never happened. It means it is not scheduled to happen. It means that there is no intention for it to happen, and there never has been, because that means then, therefore, there's no latent energetic intention or capacity. And we are agreeing with the divine, this isn't happening. We're agreeing with the divine that if something has begun to happen, if you've had some new hemorrhoids, if you've had hemorrhoids for the first time, if you've had anal fissures, if you've had bleeding or itching, that the healing is such that nothing ever occurred. And that is possible with the divine. Amazingly possible. We're intending that nothing is here, male or female. We're intending nothing at all is here. period. These energies then wrap themselves around the interior, right up underneath the buttocks, right where your butt crease is, and it goes around and around and around on both legs. And they create this system in such a way that they can get to you, to those areas, in multiple ways. And we say, no, absolutely not. Divine God, most powerful God of the divine realm, who is pure source light. No. No. And we ask in this very moment for you, for your power, for your mercy and your grace. And we ask for your healing fields of the divine realm to be with us now, be with our family, and be with everyone who needs this so that we can heal. And everyone that needs it, so every member of my family heals. And everyone who needs it, so that those I love heal. Because we are all connected, and almost without exception, a ton of people have to heal for you to be fully healed. And we'll talk about this in some other videos. And I'll be posting blog posts and other information that will help you understand this. So when all of this is happening, remember I talked about how these lines, they follow the meridian lines, and they come up through the bottoms of your feet and come back up, okay? And they wrap around here, they come back down, they come this way, they come around this ankle, then they come around your knee, they pull the kneecap out of the way energetically with intention. You may never have a knee issue, you may never activate, but nearly everyone I work with has knee issues, and they don't understand. They have foot pain that they never used to have. They have pain in here. They have a lot of sacral pain. So we have already intended that everything is resolved. And while we're doing that, let's intend that these lines of intention that continuously shoot up and down in our legs and in all kinds of patterns that make no sense to us are destroyed fully, completely, forever, as though they never existed. And our whole self is restored to its perfection. And so in this moment, I'm going to ask you to please make the most powerful intention you know how to make, that you and your family of origin, that you and your centric family, which is the family you created, whether through marriage and children or adoption or by choice. Your centric family could be your household, but if it's like mine, it's all over the world. So let's choose to determine and to intend with all the power in the world and allow God to fulfill it. Let God hold the intention. Let God fulfill it in the way that God knows is perfect, so that both of those big family systems, so that each one of their centric families and their families of origin, and each one of theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs, for as exponential as it is necessary, that their healing is perfected as well. And in this, we ask that their pets and their animals, their homes, their possessions, their interests, and all with whom they connect, either directly or indirectly, and any with whom or with which any has connected through every and any lifetime. Because communication of information, of energetic information, can occur from lifetime to lifetime, from someone you do not even know you're connected to you. And this is why this condition we're working on is global, because it connects to everything you can possibly imagine and more. Okay, so this was a lot of ground to cover in 5 videos. This is a lot of information to digest. And so The best place to get your answers is to ask the divine, who is pure source light, who is the divine realm, to clear what needs to be cleared so that you can understand and perceive their communication with you, and they will. So I invite you to ask to be cleared in the way that needs to be done so that you can get divine information, so that you can be divinely guided, to keep something clearing, so that you can keep clearing your home and all your interests, so that you can keep prayerfully intending for the health of those whom you love and the health of those who convey information to you unknowingly. There are a lot of reasons and a lot of ways this occurs naturally. There are also a lot that are causing unnatural conveyances. And so your intentions, which you ask and intend are held by God, you intend to be fulfilled by God, can be done perfectly and as rapidly as possible. Okay, thanks for spending your time with me. We don't have enough of it. And if I can help you in any way, please email me. On every one of these videos, in the description, is my company's URL. In order to get me via email, just add my name at the front end of that. Shur-ēē, S like Sam, H-E-R-I, at energyhealingartsllc.com. Okay, it's been my pleasure to share this with you. Many blessings for your healing.